Many of those detained have no criminal history and argue they're being held illegally. Courts have usually sided with them, but Minnesota's chief judge says ICE is ignoring those orders. So I dug into the cases today.
Chief Judge Patrick Schultz has made no secret of his frustration with ICE. In his latest blistering ruling, writing, ICE has likely violated more court orders in January 2026 than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence, and providing a list of 74 cases. U of M law professor Tim Johnson puts that into perspective.
In the number and the sheer short amount of time that the number of defiances, if that's how you want to put it, have happened, this is unprecedented. And I don't throw that word around often.
The cases involve non-citizens with no criminal records, held without due process, like a man with temporary protected status living in the U.S. since 1993. Others with valid work permits, many shipped to Texas or other states against judges' orders. That includes Adriana from Ecuador, arrested outside of work at Richfield Target on January 12th. The mother of 3 has a pending asylum petition and a valid work permit, but was put on a flight to El Paso less than 4 hours after her arrest. Though a judge has ordered her release, nearly 3 weeks later, she remains in Texas. Homeland Security pushes back, calling Schultz an activist judge, more concerned about politics than Minnesota's safety. Schultz is a Bush appointee who once clerked for Justice Antonin Scalia.
He is someone who comes from a pretty conservative background judicially, legally, and probably ideologically. He is simply reading the law.
To that end, Schultz argues the ignored orders, quote, should give pause to anyone, no matter his or her political beliefs, who cares about the rule of law.
And there was another striking case in that list, a high school student from South St. Paul who was shipped first to Texas and then New Mexico before finally being returned home. Kent Erdahl is digging into his story tonight at 6:30 on Breaking the News. Tonight, some immigration officials are also failing to comply with a different federal judge's order that calls for the release of refugees detained through Operation Paris. It launched earlier this month, targeting thousands of refugees without green cards. The judge's order gives the government 5 days to release them. Attorney Michelle Drake says she tried to get her client, who is in the country legally, out of federal detention last night.
I'm not aware that the government is complying with the order. They've indicated that they intend to seek to dissolve the order. But this is just another example of the lawlessness that we are observing by the government.
In a statement, Homeland Security says, quote, this is yet another lawless and activist order from the federal judiciary who continues to undermine our immigration laws. We look forward to being vindicated in court.
Well-known activist Nikema